We all want to be successful, rich, and ultimately happy in this life. A constant state of happiness is of course not possible. If such a thing existed, the concept of happiness would have no meaning. It is also possible to find peace in a spiritual, religious, or meditative way. But that is not our topic here. So from a personal development point of view, it is possible to travel this path to goals faster and achieve them in the best way possible. Is there a way to increase the amount of time we spend happy? There is. Discovering the secrets of people who have traveled that path before you and succeeded. This content, which I have prepared as a result of my research on dozens of foreign articles and videos, will include findings that you may hear for the first time. To increase the quality of life and net wealth of both the speaker and you, the viewers. But there are things to do for this. You need to sweat, you need to research, and you need to move forward even if you are bored. The best shortcut is to take something from the lives of people who have been successful. Capture the habits and principles that made it possible for them to succeed. In this video, we'll show you some of Jeff Bezos' top tips to help you improve your quality of life or net worth. The habits behind his success. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is currently the third richest person in the world. His net worth is about $160 billion. This is an enormous amount. When he divorced his ex-wife Mackenzie Scott, he left her about $40 billion. This makes her one of the richest women in the world. Bezos named his company Amazon, referring to the world's longest river. In a way, he wants to show the size of the company he founded. Her first slogan was the world's biggest bookstore. At first, Amazon only sold books. Of course, he thought of other names besides this one. One of the names he thought of was Relentless.com. When you click on this address, you are still directed to Amazon. Today, Amazon is the pioneer of online shopping as we know it. Bezos said in an interview that they are focused on the long term and unlike other companies, they are not competitors. They are targeting customers. This is one of the biggest things about Amazon and Jeff Bezos. But there are more important secrets that will add value to your life. Let's dig a little deeper for that. Get used to the naysayers. There is always someone who says no. Someone who destroys all your excitement, goals, and efforts with a single word will always exist throughout your life. Just get used to it. Let this boost your motivation instead of diminishing it. People who have failed to achieve something in life usually don't want you to succeed either. Whether you want to admit it or not, success breeds hatred around you. So when you really succeed, take care to keep it a secret and be aware of the cancer mentality. Put a few live crabs in a bucket and you will witness a very interesting phenomenon. Some crabs can easily escape, while other crabs try to pull them back with their pincers. At first glance, this might seem cruel and stupid. Because the crabs would rather die en masse in the pit than work together to overcome the bucket. They prefer. This is called crab theory or crab mentality in the literature. In short, if I can't do it, you can't do it mentality. Bezos said in an interview, it would be very naive to believe that we will not be criticized. You have to accept that. If you're going to do something new or innovative, you have to be willing to be misunderstood. When he decided to quit his job on Wall Street and start Amazon, he told his boss that he plans to sell it online. His boss takes him on a long ride through Central Park, listening carefully. Finally, his boss says, that only makes sense for someone who doesn't have a good job, not for you. After much deliberation, Bezos decides to take the less safe path to follow his passion. And he's proud of that choice. The phrase he uses here is the less safe way. I think this phrase is important. If you are torn between two choices and one of them makes you feel less safe and uncomfortable, I would recommend you to choose that one. It is more likely to be better for you. If you have a really good idea, an ideal, never trying is worse than trying and failing. Never trying will most likely cause you to regret it, and you will always have a nagging feeling of regret. Will follow you through life. I guess we should look at life as a bit of an adventure. At this point, it would be the wisest thing to do to remove the naysayers, the indestructibles from your surroundings, or to minimize the dialogue. Long-term thinking skills. This topic actually deserves a separate video. It is common to focus on short-term goals. But it's the long-term goals that bring real success. As in the marshmallow experiment, we can't afford to wait for the second marshmallow. This prevents us from achieving satisfactory results. We are, so to speak, satisfied with one marshmallow. For those who do not know, I would like to briefly mention this experiment. Preschool children are left alone in a room with a marshmallow and told that they can eat this one marshmallow if they want, or as a second option, they can get 2 marshmallows if they wait 10 minutes without eating this marshmallow. And they are left alone in the room with that one marshmallow. Children who waited for the second marshmallow were observed to be more successful when their academic achievement was analyzed in their later lives. Bezos focuses on long-term goals. When the Amazon founder is asked if he is aware of the extraordinary increase in revenues, he says that he has already forgotten these numbers and is focused on a few years ahead. Back when computers were similar in size and shape to microwave ovens, he knew that the internet would revolutionize retail and that people would soon be shopping online. Bezos refrained from taking action when the environment was not yet ready for it, because this would only benefit him in the short term. He knew exactly where he wanted to reach with his innovative projects. If people think long-term, we can achieve things that we couldn't achieve otherwise. We need to start. Accept short-term losses if necessary. Don't be afraid to make decisions that will reward you in the future. Base your strategy on things that will not change. Which question do you think makes more sense to ask in terms of future perspective? What will change in the next 10 years? What will not change in the next 10 years? According to Jeff Bezos, the second question is more important, because you can build a strategy around what is stable in that time frame. Bezos' takeaway is that we know that customers will prefer low prices, and that won't change even 10 years from now. Customers want fast delivery. They want a wide range of products. It's impossible to imagine a future 10 years from now where a customer comes and says, "I love Jeff Amazon, I wish the prices were a little bit higher." For this, it is useful for everyone to ask themselves some questions in line with their goals. Which professions will continue to exist 10 years from now? Which sectors will survive 10 years from now? Which investment instruments will continue to attract interest 10 years from now? Or, which job will I still love doing 10 years from now? Surround yourself with quality people. Amazon has a long recruitment process. It is not so important that the answers to the questions asked in the recruitment process are correct. The important thing is to determine whether you have critical thinking skills. Many big companies already do it this way. Every time we hire someone, they have to raise the bar for the next hire, so the overall talent pool is constantly improving, Bezos says. I don't just look at this from the perspective that employee quality is important for a good company. We need to surround ourselves with quality people, just like a recruitment process. After all, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Every event that happens around us shapes us. In the environment where you are constantly present, a common point is formed. Over time, people become more and more alike. This happens not only with clothes and mannerisms. Our brain is also transformed. In other words, we start to synchronize with the other brains we spend time around. 2 pizzas rule. Making a meeting or presentation with PowerPoint is almost a ritual, especially in business life. And that's what it's become. However, on Amazon, discussions and meetings start with a written argument. Anyone who wants to present a new idea must first distill their thoughts into a 6 to 7 page document. Before any decision is made, those involved, including Bezos himself, should take the time to read and analyze it. Another rule Bezos introduced is the 2-pizza rule. No team will be able to feed themselves on 2 pizzas, as big as they need to be. According to Bezos, larger groups are less productive. For this reason, the company has organized its structure into less autonomous units. It's not just about pizzas. It's important to pay attention to those who step out of the line, because it's often the radical or bizarre approaches to everyday tasks that have the most impact. Sometimes it's good to go into a state of mental anger. At this point, I think it would not be wrong to consider this approach as follows. When you need to make an important decision, it is important to get opinions from many people or to consult. May not be a very healthy approach. You are likely to become even more confused. Instead, it may be better to seek advice from fewer people whose approach to life you like. sometimes we lose sight of the radical thinking that is being talked about here. The question is, how can I think about this differently? Exaggerating if necessary, using the imagination that we have lost, but that we used so often as children. These are the lessons I learned from Jeff Bezos.